Greetings from the United States of America. I guess we should say shalom from the United States of America. United States of America. Sorry, the cold's getting me. Where the average temperature today, January 7th, it's the 6th today, is about 12.8 degrees. I just saw that on Drudge Report. And the current hot topic, well, I guess I shouldn't use that term, but the current topic on people's minds is global warming, or the irony of global warming, really just the temperature. Apparently it was colder, it's colder right now in Chicago than on the South Pole, in Antarctica, and that's not even counting wind chill, where it's like 50 degrees. I hear the Indianapolis mayor has banned driving, etc., etc. But with me here, and we are dressed appropriately because the weather may get down to like 20, 19 degrees in northern Florida. I am with Rabbi Kurinsky from Chabad at the Beaches in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, which is in greater Jacksonville. And we're going to talk a little bit about what Judaism has to say about treating global warming, or so-called global warming, as a religion. All right.
All right, well, I studied the Bible through and through, all 5 books of Moses, from the beginning of Genesis all the way to the end, and I couldn't find the word global warming anywhere.
There's climate change now anyhow. I don't think that was
couldn't find it anywhere. So on the topic of global warming, I think it's a good opportunity for us to, first of all, say, to warm up. Judaism is all about warmth, and about being warm and excited and finding goodness, and so we should get some global warming in a spiritual sense. We should all warm up and be excited and passionate about God and goodness.
Yada, yada, yada.
All right,
let's get to the point here.
So the point is, I think that I guess the fundamental flaw, or the most important, or the mistake in thinking of those that are really devoted to the concept of global warming, is probably similar to a lot of other issues, and that is that ultimately, as Jews, as believers in the Bible and the authenticity of God and the revelation of Mount Sinai, we believe in human intelligence. We believe in the human mind as having a tremendous capacity, and we're incredible at coming up with all kinds of innovations and inventions on the scientific level, on the medical level, on all kinds of things. We're really good, but we also believe that much greater than our own superiority of intelligence is divine intelligence, is godly intelligence. And so when we have an issue, when it comes to what issues are things that we need to focus on, what are things that we need to prioritize, what should we be worried about? Should we be concerned about greenhouse gases destroying the world, or should we be concerned about treating each other with respect, or keeping the Sabbath, or putting on tefillin, or giving charity? So that's what we have the Bible.
Yeah.
That's what we have morality for. And we look at the Bible and say, these are the issues that God says, these are things that you have to worry about. So that's what we focus on.
Let me throw a few things out there. Very recently, we're near the beginning of the book of Exodus now, we read about the 10 plagues. Obviously, God can have a lot of effects. In fact, we just saw the first snow in Egypt in 113 years, I believe it was, a few weeks ago. So that's one thing that's relevant in the Bible. But also, at the beginning of Genesis, we see the whole Tower of Babel story, which strikes me as a lot like the story of the Titanic 100 years ago, which was the arrogance of man being fooled. You can't do this. God can cut it all down if he wants to. And there's an element of that. It's almost as if, to me, God is saying, you guys want to believe in global warming? You want to believe in climate change? I'm going to make it 19 degrees in Ponte Vedra Beach. I'm going to make it minus 50 wind chill in Chicago. Let's see how you believe it now. Does that ever occur to you?
Well, it's certainly a very important part of the Bible. The Bible certainly focuses a lot. Another interesting part of the Bible, by the way, is the flood of Noah. Where you have, where you have the great flood, and the rabbis tell us that the entire climate of the world was changed, was affected. There's different opinions as to what exactly that means, but one of the very interesting things is when it comes to carbon dating. One of the reasons that carbon dating, when it precedes or predates the flood, is inaccurate, is because the entire climate of the world changed at that time. So certainly there's been a lot of climate change. There is a lot of climate change, and God causes a lot of climate change and things to be. But the issue, as you said, is whether we can affect climate change or we can't. And to answer that question, we really have to ask ourselves. We have to look at the source of all of our information and look at where we glean all of our wisdom from, which is the Bible itself. which is the Torah, which is the Talmud, and the books of our sages and our ethics, and say, what does it say about our behavior? And if it doesn't tell us that we have to be concerned about these issues, then I would say that it is a little bit egocentric of us to kind of give ourselves more responsibility than God does.
Now, it strikes me also. I lost my train of thought, but I mean, Judaism does have a lot to say about the environment, and it's the question of macro. We were talking about this earlier versus micro. Yeah, you can't be trashing your property, or you can't be throwing things in the local river. That's on a very micro level. But I think what we're talking about is thinking it as if we have that much effect on the overall world. Any individual one of us can be, as if, you know.
Well, it's very interesting. In the holiday of Yud Shvat, the Chabad Hasidic holiday is coming up this Shabbat, this Saturday, which is the anniversary of the passing of the previous Rebbe, and also the day that the Lubavitcher Rebbe in 1951 accepted the leadership of the worldwide Chabad Lubavitch movement. And one of the things that he discussed in his very, very first discourse, which is essentially his acceptance speech, was getting back to the basics. Why did God put us in this world? Why are we here? What are we doing in this world altogether? And the answer goes back to the Bible. The Bible says, build for me, guys, one of the things it says is, build for me a temple, and I'll dwell within you. Or as I say down here, dwell within y'all. God says, I'll dwell within you. You build a temple, and I'll be part of your life. Our job is to bring godliness, is to change our environment in a spiritual way, to bring godliness into the world, to do acts of goodness and kindness every moment of our life, and to make every single moment of our life worth something and valuable, essentially, and godly. Even mundane things should be godly. Things that we, even eating and sleeping and very, very materialistic things can be a holy experience, and we do change our environment in that way. That's where the Torah says we're dealing with our environment. I think that sometimes if we focus on what we should be doing, which is changing our environment in a spiritual way, I think we won't start losing focus and kind of focusing on our environment probably in ways that we can't control.
Now let me throw one more thing at you in this along the lines of this topic of Judaism and so-called global warming. Obviously, you know, it's been going on for well over a century. There are a lot of Jews who sort of throw aside their Judaism and put that same energy that they might have put into Judaism into left-wing politics, which global warming is largely a left-wing issue. And what would you say to someone watching this in, say, Greater Chicago, where it's minus 50-degree wind chill right now? They can't go outside. And they're maybe thinking, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be listening to Al Gore so much. It's not so sacrosanct. What would you say to a person who's questioning their own beliefs or their lack of beliefs right now?
Well, I think
specifically address them.
Well, I think that we're dealing with
a Jew,
right? We're dealing with left-wing politics, or really any time that a person puts their belief set into some opinion of mankind, some dressed because somebody in France dressed a certain way, or like something because somebody else tells us, the media tells us to do something, we're kind of being directed by other people, as opposed to asking ourselves what's right, what's truly meaningful, where do I really have a genuine experience? Someone who keeps Shabbat, if you experience Shabbat, King David says, Tamu Re'u Ki Tov Hashem, taste and you will see that God is good. You want goodness, experience Shabbat. You want holiness, put on tefillin, light Shabbat candles, bring light to the world. Just following the whims of some politician or some actor or some Hollywood figure or some news outlet that's trying to direct our way of thinking is not the way for a person to find meaning and find godliness. And there's plenty of godliness and goodness in the world, plenty of meaning out there, but we have to look for the right sources. We always have to look for the source of holiness and to Torah values and light and goodness. I don't say these words lightly. This is the purpose. This is the very purpose that we were put in this world. We have a purpose. We have a mission. We have to go out and do our mission, which is to bring goodness and light to the world and glean our wisdom from the correct places.
Any final words on the subject of, I'll throw something out there you can play off of, stay warm?
Stay warm. Well, we have, it's 19 degrees here in Florida, but the good news is that...
Not yet.
It will be 19 degrees here in Florida, but the good news is that happens for about a day or two, and the rest of the year, the other 49 states are kind of jealous of us. But staying warm is a Jewish concept. It's our light. One interesting thing about warmth and light, if you go into a dark room, the room is completely dark. You can take all the sticks and stones in the world and try to chase out that darkness. it won't help. If you light one little candle, you'll light up the whole room. And the same thing with being cold. You know, your room is cold, you can put on a fur coat and stay warm like we did. Put on a sweater, put on a hat.
Let's not get there.
That's
it's right. 55 out now. It's going down quickly.
But you can light a fireplace, and if you throw a couple logs in the fire or turn on the heat, you can warm up the whole environment around you. And that's the same thing with spiritual things. It's our job to bring a little warmth, bring a little positive energy to the people around you. Smile, be kind to someone, do a mitzvah, do an act of goodness and kindness, and you'll make the whole world around you, and you'll have a global warming of sorts in a spiritual way, which is a positive thing. You know, to really warm up the world, and we have the ultimate global warming, which is we'll bring the warmth of God in the whole world, and the day will come, and the whole world will see the light of God with the coming of Mashiach.
All right, thank you.
All right.